Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 14 and verse number 17. Eshateham vidashyami priyam bhiru yadichasi tasya kamam na kah kuryat siddhis traivargiki yata. Translation: O afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you. For who else but you is the source of the three perfections of liberation? Purport: the three perfections of liberations are religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. For a conditioned soul, the wife is considered to be a source of liberation because she offers her service to the husband for his ultimate liberation. Conditional material existence is based on sense gratification. And if someone has a good fortune to get a good wife, he is helped by the wife in all respects. If one is disturbed in his conditional life, he becomes more and more entangled in material contamination. A faithful wife is supposed to cooperate with her husband in fulfilling all material desires so that he can then become comfortable and execute spiritual activities for the perfection of life. If, however, the husband is progressive in spiritual advancement, the wife undoubtedly shares in his activities, and thus both the wife and the husband profit in the spiritual perfection. It is essential, therefore, the girls as well as the boys be trained in to discharge spiritual duties so that at the time of cooperation both will be benefited. The training of a boy is brahmacharya and the training of a girl is chastity. The faithful wife and the spiritually trained brahmachari are a good combination for advancement of human mission. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vancha Kalpatrobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Tananamacharya Vatantak Tana Gauratam Nagraganam Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so thank you for giving this opportunity to purify this morning by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. This particular verse is, we know this context, what was going on, And give me 1 second. Material. So what is happening here is we know the context that Kashyapa Muni and Diti. Is that right? So it wrong time. She wants to have an union in the wrong time, that is in the evening. And initially, he was in the previous verse. We can understand that hey, this is not right. He knows because he's spiritually, is really, he knows very well that's not the time. But in the previous verse, it's been said that Kashyapa was already inclined to have sexual enjoyment with his wife. It appears like that, correct? So it is been said that it has been there, that he hadn't that intention as well. It is not that two. How do you get a somebody wants to clap their hands? There are two hands comes in together, right? He says that hero. I think it's a very nice word translation in the previous verse. It says that, of course, Pratibhahu Prabhu definitely spoke about all this. Vidura is addressed hero as a hero because no one is stronger in self-control than a devotee of the Lord. It appears that Kashyapa was already inclined to have sexual enjoyment with his wife. And because he was not a strong man, he tried to dissuade her only by pacifying words. See, only by pacifying words, he was trying to control, oh, this is not the time, this, that, etc. But he had an inclination for that desire, no matter what. It has been, Prabhupada very clearly says in the purport that he had an inclination, right? I don't know whether you're able to see this, Prabhu. 1 second. Okay. So here in this particular verse, it's been very clear that, oh, what do you how can I satisfy your desire? It says, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you. For who else but you is the source of the three perfections of liberation? He's kind of tell me what you want. I can satisfy your desire. You are the source of three perfections of liberation. It's like, wow, what is he talking about? Somebody thinks that, oh, I'm not interested in this, I'm not interested in that. But behind the scene, no matter what, he is interested. Correct? So that's what it says here. So what I understand from these verses, Prabhupada talks about the chastity of the wife, and also he also is talking about the how. Sorry, my laptop screwed up. Play. So please bear with me. Prabhupada talks about how a boy has to be trained as in brahmacharya, and the girl trained is a chastity. The wording is the training of a boy. The training of a boy is brahmacharya, and the training of a girl is chastity. A faithful wife and the spiritually trained brahmachari are a good combination for advancement of human mission. So what I was hearing from my devotees about this particular verse, I don't know what to talk. So I came across one scenario of one of the devotees speaking on this, that how Prabhupada has brought us this Varnashrama, in that, if anybody comes to ISKCON, there are various ways to serve Krishna. So what did Prabhupada bring us? He brought us how there are so many brahmacharis in the movement. And they have grasthas in the movement, they have vanaprasthas in the movement, there are sannyasis in the movement. And if you look at many temples, there are so many. Mayapur, if you go, Bombay, anywhere, where in India, there are many brahmacharis. Pune, I heard Pune alone around 250 brahmacharis. Radhesham Prabhu has developed them. And Mayapur, there are many brahmacharis. And that, just like that, why the brahmacharya is important? Because everybody is going towards sense gratification. And especially the boys today, even anybody in that matter, if you can see, everybody has an iPhone, or sorry, everybody has a phone, so that he doesn't have to go outside and associate with any people who are in a wrong association. Doesn't matter. He can sit in one place and have a bad association using phone. Today, the advancement is so strong that just by phone, the mind can go anywhere, and he can spoil his mind and his future just by a phone today. But brahmacharya, I heard in one of the brahmacharis saying that they hardly have a phone. Even if they have the phone, there is no apps in the phone. There is no smartphone. There's only phone to call. That's it. Some temples have that strict rules. And they don't have the way the brahmacharis live is in one small cupboard, and then small one mat, one bed. That's it. That means there are so much of austerity to be followed to become a brahmachari and get trained very nicely. And if somebody, there is an app also. If somebody looks at something else in the phone, the leader will come to know. So everybody has a app installed in their phone as a brahmachari, and the leader tracks what this brahmachari is doing. It is not like that. That's not the way. But it's a strict rule on how brahmachari can be controlled, can be practiced in the temples, because the mind is a mind. You can't control the mind much. So at least they are training the brahmacharis in such a way that they can control their senses. So what happens in the brahmacharis, in that, of course, brahmachari, becoming a brahmachari at 20 years is different. But if you look at the Vedic injunctions, brahmacharya, it'll be from the, when they are very young. They practice brahmacharya very young. And then they'll become, some people can become grahasthas, and they're also trained very well. And there are mentors, there are counselors who can train them how to, what to, when to, everything. And then once that is, when people cross 50, there is vanaprastha. That is, it's rare. Of course, people are following in ISKCON. That's not many. I can see that more than 50, of course, they still have their family. But based on the Vedic injunction, one has to leave the house, which is not possible in this Kali Yuga. I can see that myself. Some something will be there which will bind you to take care of a few things. And of course, sannyasa, oh, we know how the sannyasi life is. So the training, it is coming from Vedic injunctions. The person who can get trained, he can control his senses, and then he has that awareness on what to do, when to do. It's very important to understand that these are not many. Oh, Vedic injunction is ritualistic, this and that. But actually, Vedic injunctions are very. It is being framed by Brahma, of course, right? Lord Krishna has given to Brahma, and Brahma has framed this. And Manu Smriti is also there. What to follow, what not to follow, right? And today, if I look at it, the casteism in India, there is no casteism. There are zillions castes, but there was no caste like that. It was based on the guna and karma vibhaga, Chaturvarnya Maya system, guna karma vibhaga shaka. So that was there from the time immemorial. But people, they the problem is they did not follow it, and then it got misused completely. I was thinking about this pastime of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Devahuti is actually one of the daughters of Manu, and Manu means is actually controlling the whole universe, right? But that Devahuti was married to a Brahmin who has nothing, who has no money, nothing, no luxury at all. So she got married to Kardama Muni, and she followed what Kardama Muni used to. That means Kardama Muni was always meditate in the service of Krishna, and he was always, most of the time he's in meditation. And the wife will follow and support the husband. That's why Prabhupada clearly says that how the wife is considered to be the source of liberation because she offers her service to the husband for his ultimate liberation. So the what happens when the husband follows the spiritual activity very, very nicely? I heard 50%, I think some percent, I don't know the percentage, but the spiritual, that activity what husband as following, that will also be transferred to the wife. And when, if a wife is very chaste and follow the husband and support the husband, and also offers her service to husband in such a way that the husband can follow the path of liberation, that is what Grasta life is. And I heard Devahuti, she was in so much luxury, but one point of time when she comes to, when gets married to Kardama Muni, she became very thin, and her, even the all the hairs were matted. It's like she was completely following what husband used to. And end of this our life, end of Kardama Muni, she was even ready to follow the sati system. That means she jumped into the fire of her husband's. So the sati system was so great that time. What does that mean? That means she was completely chaste and following the husband. And if there is no husband, what is this use of life? So she will also jump into the fire. But today's sati system was different. Even 100 years ago, even I remember that one of episode of I was watching in the series of Bhakti Charu Maharaj's Abhay Charan series. That, of course, we would have heard the Lilamrita also. That they were forcing one of the ladies, when husband died, they were actually tying her up and trying to pull her to the husband's uh, in that funeral. She was just pulling to, and then finally Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes and saves her. So it was not by force. It was not by force. It was a voluntary, that what is use of this life? I need to follow my husband. So that was the bondage between the wife and the husband in service of Krishna. Correct? So even Dhritarashtra, when Dhritarashtra left, what happened? Even Gandhari also left. So that means that is the Vedic injunction we had earlier. And the people were following so strictly. But now, in the age of Kali, it's very difficult. But at least thanks to Srila Prabhupada, thanks to our movement, that we have trained, we have sannyasis, we have spiritual masters who are training very well all of us to follow the grahastha life, to follow the brahmacharya life. And if you, when most the majority of the, look at the preaching in ISKCON, my God, all these stalwart brahmacharis coming from India, in their lectures, their preaching, they're so strong that they can even, one person can change the entire community. We can see ourselves in Radhesham Prabhu came here, right? Remember that he developed on one of the Radhesham Prabhu's, in the temple, one brahmachari gave a class. He said, he shared that how strong was the movement, is how strong they're following the movement. And the brahmachari was feeling that there is no life, life will be a waste if I don't follow Krishna consciousness. And if he come out of the temple and he become, I don't want ISKCON, if he comes out, that's what he felt, that what is the use of this life? I don't need this life anymore. So that means he was following so nicely. They're all following very nicely. But what is the benefit of following all this very nicely? There is a inert happiness in the spirit soul. Spiritually will be very happy. That means you feel happiness. What are we trying to do all this? Is because when we follow Krishna consciousness very nicely, then we feel happy in our hearts, right? That is the benefit. So that brahmacharya is expressing, what is the use if I come out? That means there is no happiness outside. This is the real happiness in my life. I feel happiness. When I serve Krishna, I feel happiness. That's most important for me rather than doing anything else. And as a deity worship, we are all, as a part of a deity worship, I'm also going and doing services. I heard once Radhesham Prabhu said that somebody has, of course, everybody will have a lust, desire. So what is the best you can do? Go have darshan of deities. Look at Radha Sundar. Look at eyebrows of Radha Sundar. The moment you look at have darshan of lotus feet and look at his eyebrows, also that in eyebrows what happens, the lust will go away. So this, as a part of deity worship, we all go and have darshan. Of course, everybody will have, it's been clearly said that here, right? The religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. What is that? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, liberation. Correct? So no matter what, I am a grahastha, I'm in ISKCON and this. No, it is there. Sense gratification is there, but there is a limit for sense gratification. There is, everybody can enjoy. So Krishna is actually, you think about a servant living in a big billionaire's house. That servant is happy or not? Definitely she is happy. He or she is very happy because he has he has his boss who is billionaire. So he will get all the amenities. And we, all of us, as a servant of Krishna, Krishna is actually is, he is, everything is Krishna's. He is a multi-billionaire, multi-trillionaire, whatnot, right? So if he has that enjoyment, and of course we are also supposed to enjoy our life in Krishna conscious way, definitely we can enjoy. So, but there is a limit. There is limit for everything. Otherwise, what is the enjoy? Enjoyment is there. It doesn't mean that come to ISKCON, chant Hare Krishna, just sit in one room, meditate, don't talk to people, nothing like that. We are all enjoying in Krishna consciousness, but there is a limit for everything. So this is most important for us to learn, that how we can enjoy in Krishna consciousness, following the Vedic injunctions, following the footsteps of what Srila Prabhupada told us, following our spiritual master's instructions of brahmacharya, grahastha ashrama. Of course, we're all majority are grahasthas, and how we can follow. Then that we get trained, we'll get trained. That's the way we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And in that way, because how do we advance in Krishna consciousness? There is a step which is given in Vedic injunction. That's why I sometimes feel that oh, our children are, I don't even know what Vedic injunctions are there. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam is speaking to us. Without following anything Vedic injunctions, we don't know what is. Oh, my father, my grandfather said this. No, forget about all this. Just follow Srimad Bhagavatam literature and our spiritual masters' instructions. Even the child, just by chanting Hare Krishna, he can control his mind. By the chanting Hare Krishna, they're following the footsteps of his parents. We can see the children can also, of course, they will deviate initially, but by birth they are actually eating prasadam. I had one question to Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, I did not do any samskara for my children because there are so many samskaras. Somehow I did not do any samskaras to children. What can I do, Maharaj? I sent an email some time ago. Maharaj said, don't worry, they are eating prasadam from their childhood, from their birth actually. They're taking prasadam from their birth. So don't worry at all. They're already Krishna consciousness. They're conscious. So you follow what you're supposed to follow. How does the children follow? When parents are following very nicely, we are setting an example for our children. And children will, by default, they will learn from the parents. If the parents are not following properly, of course, we can see the children in their many friends in India, we have seen they're lavishly spend, they lavishly go here and there, spend like so much. Oh my God, I have my friend, I'm a cousin. How? Because the parents are like that. But if parents are controlled, and it is not that, hey, take a stick and control my children, not like that. When we follow nicely, children will look at us and follow. Oh, this is the way. They might, in as long as they are with us, that entire till college, they're actually us following. Somehow they know. They go to the college. I know they'll deviate a little bit here and there, but no matter what, they'll come back again, because they would have seen that happiness in Krishna consciousness. They've seen, oh, if I deviate, I can see other kind of enjoyment, but they'll feel that, oh, this enjoyment is temporary. They will also come to know, and they will see, they will come back to the Krishna conscious life back again. I've seen it in my experience. That's what I'm telling. They can deviate few days, few months, few years, but no matter what, they'll come back to our consciousness, our life, Krishna conscious life. So that's why the training is very important. In that way, we can go in a balanced way on what to do, what not to do. Of course, we enjoy, but in everything in limited way. And we have a Vedic injunction, we have samskaras to follow. If we follow nicely, we can also have Krishna conscious child. But of course, this particular verse, it says that Kashyapa Muni, of course, he's also had that intention, and why this happened? Oh, everybody say, why is this pastime happening? Of course, this is Krishna's orchestration to happen like that, to make them that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha will be born. Right? This is Krishna's orchestration. But in general, we will have to follow what we need to follow. Anyway, thank you so much. We will stop here. If anybody has comments, questions, maybe a couple minutes, I think otherwise we'll stop. Thank you so much for all of your patience. Hare Krishna. Okay, we will stop here then. Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so
Hari
much
Hari.
for the nice class. Everybody observed. It looks like. So it was so nice. Yeah, it was very nice class. Thank you.
No,
Yeah,
it's nice. Give me some reflections. Nice class. I don't know what I
yeah,
spoke.
no, 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 today. At least, I mean, the thing, I mean, he was talking about the sense gratification. I was thinking when we need to reduce, I was thinking how to reduce sense gratification. So second thing, I was thinking how the training happens from the childhood. I mean, the children doesn't listen by what do you call dictating them or instructing them by, but by looking at how the parents practice. So and how I think he initially talked about, I mean, the how I mean the husband-wife relationship and how the uh, both of them can make progress by supporting each other. Right. I
Correct.
think you
Hmm.
talked about, yeah. I mean, that's what we hear Ardhangi or whatever, right? So, I mean, I think I don't know, 50% I heard earlier. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like very, what a benefit one can
No,
achieve. Yeah.
I was also thinking, when my wife was so much devoted, dedicated, do I get anything from what my wife does? No, I don't get anything.
I don't get
So, like that. But basically, husband has to follow, but the wife is really supportive. Of course, she was, you believe it or not, I was in, I got married, and my, people, of course, it's the Bhagavatam class, I'm saying this, and everybody goes to honeymoon after marriage, right? The first the honeymoon I went was to Tirtha Yatra in the South India. That's my that's what my and she's just, my wife did not object. She just followed what I said. Okay, let's go. So in that, I don't know. I was completely mesmerized that how, but any wife can object. Why are we going there? That's not the place to go. But in one aspect, if I see, she never objected on what I said, and she was coming from a excellent family. You know all the luxuries were there, everything was there, but somehow she followed me for my entire, all these days, entire years, from the day of marriage till whatever the date is. She followed just what I said, amazingly. That's why. And she supported in me in every aspect of my life, so which made me so strong to follow the Krishna consciousness. This is my family. This is as a reflection I'm telling, Prabhu. It's not that, of course, everybody has that. So, anyway, thank you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think
Thank you,
Manjari
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glory to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Such a very, very impactful and beautiful class, Prabhuji. Just wanted to reflect on a few things here that you had mentioned, and what from Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, that how brahmacharya is very important for a boy, since childhood, and then how important it is for the girls to be trained in chastity. So those are two important things for at least upcoming generations. And then how you even said, to, and we always hear this too from Srila Prabhupada, that how you kill this lusty desires in one's heart is by doing deity worship. And you said specifically that, I was thinking, like, what can I tell my sons to like focus on to develop this brahmacharya, right? Because it's a very important topic. And because especially nowadays they have the phone, their bad association is right there, right, right in front. So to look at the feet and the eyebrows of the deities is what will kill the lusty desires, at least, because they're not doing, they're doing like small deity service in the home, but not like in temple, right? So in temple, like, it's a good way to meditate on the feet and the eyebrows to help them come out of the any kind of, I mean, of course it's going to be there, but at least it will help some. So that was very important for me. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. I think we'll stop here. Vansha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.